Dude, is he the smartest guy in the world, though? Because he was the first person that brought back to light the whole Ian Gary and the WAG thing and all the other stuff, right? So he's always like in the middle of something.
In the middle of something, yeah.
But last weekend, he was in the middle of really something with Dricus Du Plessis. They're in the crowd, and as you said, you were wondering, why did they put them so close together?
Why did they do, Daniel? Why did they do it?
I really don't know. I don't know how you missed that with him. There are fighters that you can put sitting next to someone they're going to fight down the line. Sean Strickland doesn't seem like that type of fighter. So my question to you is, does it make you more excited for the fight? Or is it just like, well, come see, come saw, right?
I was excited for it already. I think it's gonna be a good fight. You know, Du Plessis, we've talked about him on the show. He looks kind of awkward in what he does, but he's really successful. I was in Australia. It was a great place. If you've never been to Sydney, Daniel, I'm gonna recommend it highly. Have you been there?
I've been to Sydney multiple times. What do I look like? A fucking country bumpkin from Louisiana that's never traveled the world? So
you probably didn't go by the ocean, though. You would have got eaten by a shark.
I was in Australia just very recently. Well, I mean, it's such an insult. Sean Strickland fought Israel Adesanya in Australia.
Daniel, I don't have your travel schedule. I know you go a lot of places.
We talk constantly.
Yeah, but I don't say like, where's Daniel at today? Okay. Do you love Sydney or not? And then I'm going to tell you something about what I heard.
Okay, so I think Sydney's pretty cool, but it was cold when we went there, right? Were you there like in the summer or was it?
Yeah.
I was there in the winter, so it was a little cold. So, it was okay. So what did you hear?
So here's what I heard. There's, I went to a lot of gyms. I was teaching wrestling seminars. I heard some rumors that maybe Robert Whittaker wasn't 100% at full health, but he's not the kind of guy who's going to make excuses. So
really,
yeah, and we both, at least I'm pretty sure we both said it after the Du Plessis fight. Is like, wow, I thought Robert Whittaker was a significant favorite there. I was kind of surprised.
I just have never seen Robert Whittaker get beat, especially in that way.
Like that. So I think we were both surprised. And so, yeah, I heard he was dealing with some pretty serious injuries, but he's pulled out a handful of times, and he just he didn't want to pull out again. I don't know those to be true. I don't know how good my sources were, but I heard it multiple times.
That's what I want to know. How many times did you hear it? Yeah. And what did they say exactly? Like, what type of injuries was Robert Whittaker dealing with, man?
Well, I don't want to tell you about all of it.
But if you're going to tell it, then you might as well tell it. The fight's over. It already cost him. It
was something with his ankle where he couldn't train very well. And both times I heard it, someone said the same body part.
Really?
Yeah.
So that might be true.
So it might be.
So how much of a factor do you think that played into the fight with Du Plessis? Because right now, most of the excitement about Dricus is because of what he did to Robert Whittaker, because we had never seen anybody do that to Robert Whittaker. So if that was the case and Rob was hurt, does that take a little bit off of it then?
A little bit, but the thing about Du Plessis and Sean Strickland is Sean Strickland has let people hit him before. Du Plessis hits hard, and he is kind of awkward. And sometimes those awkward people, they're the worst ones to fight because the punches just come from weird angles. And so I still think Du Plessis is probably going to connect a few times. I mean, I think Sean Strickland's probably going to win the fight, but I'm definitely not ruling out Dricus winning.
But that's what I was going to ask you, right? Because when I see for years Kamaru Usman refusing to go up to 185, partly because he's friends with Izzy, but even when Alex became the champion, there was no talk of him going to 185.
Yeah.
Sean Strickland becomes the champ now, and Leon Edwards is immediately talking about going to 185.
I hate it.
Kamaru Usman was immediately talking about going to 185. What is that? Like, why is he this? It's a bit, honestly, it feels like they feel like there's a beatable champion, so I'm gonna take my shot. Why is Sean Strickland overlooked still?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Probably because he's been beat relatively recently. He lost to
Pereira. Pereira knocked him out.
He lost to Cannonier also not that long ago, right? So we have seen him lose. So that's probably why. I hate Leon Edwards moving up, though. I like Leon Edwards. I think he's great, but I think he needs to clean out the division. I think you need to clean out the division before you can move up. So I think he's got to face Brawl and Shavkat at least. And if someone else emerges, he needs to take care of them. Once you clean your division, then go on up and have some fun.
So has that kind of lost this luster a little bit, the double champ thing? Is it annoying watching it? Like everybody kind of wants to do it.
Well, it's annoying because it's like there's divisions, right? We have weight classes for a reason. And when you're doing it just like kind of all over the place, you're holding up these divisions. So it's like, okay, Bilal has won 7 in a row. He probably should get a title shot. Or Shavkat's won 18 in a row. He should probably get a title shot. And now Leon's going to go up, right? Well, he's going to put that division on hold for what, 12 months, 9 months, something like that?
You know what's, for me, it's that Conor McGregor was the first person to do that in 2016. It had never happened. Since then, Amanda, myself, Henry, Dillashaw's tried, Volkanovski's tried, Izzy's tried. So many people have tried now to do it when it was something that was so unheard of. And I believe that now these guys at 170 are like, they feel like Sean Strickland's beatable.
Yeah.
I talk to people close to Du Plessis. They believe it is an afterthought that he gets through Sean Strickland.
Really?
Like, they believe that he is so far ahead of Sean Strickland that it will not be competitive. I don't know how you can watch that last fight and feel like that.
Yeah. That's wild.
You think it's crazy?
I think that's pretty crazy to make a statement that bold for Dricus Du Plessis. I think that's pretty wild.
You think do you think if Leon Edwards was to go up though, do you think he can compete with those guys?
Leon's really
he's good, man.
But could he outstrike Sean? He could, but I'm not like he's way better than Sean. I don't feel that way at all.
No, I'm not saying he's way better than Sean, but I'm saying like it would seem as though the style matchup would be as ideal for him as anything he's going to find, right? Because at some point, one of those wrestlers at 185 is going to find the way to that championship. And then it becomes difficult. But I mean, does it really become difficult? Because we've seen Leon Edwards in there with wrestling dudes, and they can't do nothing with him.
He's actually a pretty good wrestler.
He's gotten better, bro.
Well, I'll tell you, I noticed it for the first time. This is a long time. This is when I was fighting still. I went to London. He fought Gunnar Nelson, who's a pretty damn good wrestler, grappler type guy. And he really schooled. I expected what I expected in that fight. If it was grappling exchange, that Gunnar would be able to get the better of him, both in the wrestling and the ground. And that if it stayed on the feet, then Leon would win. But Gunnar got beat in every area. Leon beat
every
him
area.
In grappling, wrestling.
So Leon Edwards is so good, bro. He's so good that he makes it look easy. And people don't like when it looks easy. People don't like that. They don't like how easy it looked with Colby Covington last weekend. But before we move on.
One thing about that, though, is I think he almost started getting overconfident because he made a few errors, right, by getting a little too aggressive in the grappling.
We're bouncing around really quick. Let's button up the Sean Strickland stuff before we go to Leon Edwards.
I'm excited.
So, but does it make you more excited? And how about Sean Strickland actually telling those kids to move out of the way?
Yeah,
that dude's crazy.
This is a great American. This is the kind of guy we need. We don't need Colby. He's a scumbag. We need Sean Strickland. That's a great American. He's a gentleman. He said, "Kids, can you please move? I'm about to jump over and act like a freaking wild man, attack this guy." And sure enough, he jumps over the chair and starts like, I don't know why you want to punch him on top of the head. It seems like a bad place to punch him. And I think he should have been a little more careful going over the chair, like make a nice
slide through it because it's all folding chairs.
That's what happened. I believe he kind of slid through it, but he kind of caught onto his head or something.
In the outside the octagon fights are crazy because although you're like a fighter, but when you're like out there and you're fighting with somebody else, you don't really know what's happening, and so it's like weird, right? Because you end up rolling around, falling, then you're underneath the person or you're on top of them. It's a fighting it just in general public is not like the thing. Like it's amazing that we ever did it, like in college and all that. What were we thinking?
Fights in college?
Bro, I got into so many fights at Oakgrove.
Really?
It was bad.
Why? Because you were just out there just antagonizing people.
I was a tough guy. I wanted to show that I was a tough guy. I wanted to show that
you got chippy with them.
People. Was that?
You got chippy with them first, though. You teased them.
Constantly starting arguments because I knew I had the ultimate weapon in my pocket with the wrestling. So I would fight all these bad people. The people not bad. I mean, I was the bad guy, but I'd fight these guys and they just couldn't stop me from taking them down. So it would make it really easy. All right, bro. So those guys fought in the stands. They're gonna fight in the cage in January, and I believe it's gonna be a very fun fight, and I can't wait. It's from Toronto in January.